Uamau, KL, Kaina, Ikapono, Uamau, KL, Kaina, Ikapono, It's Breakfast with Bob, oh yeah.
Yo, Pancho Man, you are the best. We are brought to you by EAS Sports Nutrition Hoka One One. We're brought to you by Polar, Oscar Wellness, Velo Fix. We're at the beautiful Four Seasons Hualalai, and we're airing on Triathlon World. Mr. Ben Hoffman is with us. Benny, how you doing, man?
Oh, man, I'm doing well. It's good to be here, and I'm still kind of absorbing the race and reflecting, but I mean, I'm happy. It was a good day, and I gave everything I had. So
well, fourth and first American. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's good to be back on the top step of the American podium at least, and to be battling with these guys and contending for a win again. I think it was a really solid day, and getting that confidence back after not a great performance last year. So yeah, another step forward.
What's always fascinating to me is how, you were right there with the leaders last year, right?
Yep.
On the bike. You're right up there, and next thing you know, you have those down spots, and you end up in 27th. But so if people just saw 27th, they go, flash in the pan, like, got second the year before, and you got 27th this year. But this year, you're able to not have at least something that lasted as long, right, in terms of that downtime.
No, yeah, I actually had a pretty even day, where I played it smart. I think I was in a good position on the swim, good position on the bike, conserved a bit, and then saved it for the run where it always kind of matters here. And,
yes,
I took care of the nutrition a little bit better this year. That was kind of my downfall last year. And
what'd you do last year?
I missed a little bit, and then I think I put too much in towards the end of the bike, and then I just really paid for it about halfway through the run. So, yeah, it just kind of caught up to me. I had some bad GI distress about 10 miles into the run, and, you go backwards quickly here. Guys, you let down your guard for 1 second, Hawaii knocks you down, and guys come flying past one after another. You look at the top 10, top 15, and it's spaced out a minute apart, it seems like, every year. So, like you said, it was a tough race last year, but it's good to bounce back and be up there again, contending.
So when you look at the splits across the board, 48, 428, 251, 813 has won this race before. That's a great time. So, that is not just solid times. Those are, basically potential winning times.
Absolutely. And, I did come here. I was really trying to focus on doing my best performance and to have a race that was more of a time goal. Of course, you never know what the conditions are going to be, but you know historically that if you break 8:15, you're going to be in contention for the win.
Yes.
Give yourself a chance at least. And this year, these guys just pushed the pace another level. Jan was got really almost gunning for that record that Crowe has, and he set the bar really high. And I think I'm happy with my performance. I'm happy with my splits. I need to improve the run a little bit if I want to beat these guys next year. But certainly a step forward. It's 6 minutes faster than when I was second.
Yeah.
And my best performance out here, and I think probably one of the better American performances. I'm sure Mark and Dave probably went faster back in the day, but it was a strong
You're close.
performance. Yeah,
809, 810, and then Mark went 807, but 813 is certainly representative. We talked about it a lot, getting an American back on the top of the podium, right? And it hasn't happened since Tim DeBoom in 2002. But we're getting closer, right? We had yourself, Tim O'Donnell, and then Andy Potts, I think it was 11th or something like that.
Right.
So we're getting a number of guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I looked at it this morning. I just kind of pulled up the results, and I think there's 4 of us, maybe with Matt Russell as well, that was in the top 15, and I think there was 4 Germans. They just happened to be all concentrated in the top 5.
Yeah.
So we're in there. We've got a lot of the guys that are some of the top guys in the world, but we just need to kind of push up to those last few spots. And, we're getting there. I think we're taking the right steps. Tim had a great race yesterday as well, coming 6th, and, he had a 3rd last year. So we're knocking on the door. We just have a little bit more to go.
Patrick Lang, 239. It does a couple things. One, we haven't had anybody go sub 240. And now anytime someone does that, it seems like then a lot of people follow the lead. They go, oh, okay, you can run sub 240 there. And they start training to run sub 240 because obviously that's where things are going.
Certainly.
And you saw him at some point.
Yep, he came around me around mile 21 or 22, I think it was, and he was moving. So, yeah, it was. I held him off for quite a while, actually. But, it wasn't in me at the moment to go with him. It was quite unrealistic actually at that stage. I was getting to the point of being completely empty, but hats off to him. That was an incredible run performance. Not a tremendous surprise when you look at what he did down in Texas, which was also a hot race. But for his first time on the island, it was a great performance. And I know he had a penalty on the bike, so to come back from that and still stay mentally tough, speaks volumes about his performance. And I think he's going to be dangerous in the future. Now he's on the radar, but if he comes off near the lead next year on the bike, that he could be contending for sure.
Out. Yeah. But one of the other numbers, the 48-minute swim, that to me was really impressive. Did that surprise you?
A little bit, yeah. I think my best swims here are maybe the high 50s or 51.
Yeah.
And I think 52 a couple of times as well. I've usually been front pack or just near it. This time we were technically the chase pack, but we bridged pretty quickly. So, yeah, it was a good swim. I'm not sure if the swim course was changed back maybe to an original swim course.
Yeah.
I think I'd heard that maybe it had, over time, had moved to being 100 meters longer. So we were actually swimming too long for the past several years, and they moved it back to the original course, which is actually accurate. And I felt like, that's pretty indicative, I think, of what a group of guys that are of this quality would swim for a 3.8 kilometer swim. So, yeah, I think it's probably accurate now.
Yes.
And, it was a good swim. I was comfortable. I stayed in there. I was very cognizant of my positioning. And, you need to be near that front group, I think, in the swim usually to win this thing. So
having two top fours here, it changes, obviously, perceptions, right? The one hit wonder thing is gone. This is a guy who's solid across the board and will be here for years to come. What do you take away going back home?
Well, just that, really. I need it too. I think that you have a poor performance, or like last year where I had a rough race at Texas and at Kona.
Yes.
And, I got a good performance under my belt at South Africa this year with a win.
Yep.
And brought that confidence back. But to do it in Hawaii is a different thing. And to do it, again now, it basically, it brings back to the, to me that I can win this thing and that I belong here. And, I think it's, to me, I guess doing well is a constant process of self-belief, and this is another forward step that way. So I think it makes me dangerous for the future, and I learned a lot out there. Even though it was technically a good race, and you don't learn quite as much from those, maybe I learned a lot, like you always do. And I think I'm going to take that with me moving forward and come back stronger next year and contend.
How have you changed as an athlete since you first came here?
Well, I think I've learned to be a lot more patient for sure. I think that my first year, 2009, I came out here 6 weeks before the race, actually. I just quit my part-time job, and I thought, I'm going to go top 10 first time, and
of course.
Everyone kind of thinks that maybe a little bit, but I was, at that time, that was 2009, I was 26 years old. I was fairly young for Ironman, and, I think about it now, and it kind of makes me laugh. I got smacked in the face pretty hard that year. It was a really hot day, and I melted down, and the marathon was ugly, So I think that would probably be the main thing that's changed for me, is just knowing when to seize the day, when to be patient, and to kind of hold your cards until it's the right moment, and to do your best race out here, because as much as you do race the other guys, I think this race is more about racing the course and conditions, actually. And you have to know what you're capable of out here, because if you try sometimes too hard, to go at the wrong moments, you get caught out. So
you get slapped.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. Hey, Ben, thanks so much for taking time. Really, really appreciate what you bring to the sport. Great, solid race all day long yesterday. Great to have you back in the top 5.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me on the show again.
Ben Hoffman has been our guest. Poncho Man, take us home, baby.
It's Breakfast with Bob.